Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Today we're cooking sweetbread. And I love sweetbread. It's so nice and tender. And you can cook it in so many ways. Today we're gonna kind of almost deep fat fry it. But we'll have a look at that later. And we're serving it with a Potato Espuma and a Demi Glace. But before we have a look at the board here, as always, if you're not a subscriber yet, please do me the favor, click on the subscribe button and check the little bell icon so that you get notifications. But now let's have a look at the board. Now these are not all the ingredients we need, but we have our beautiful sweetbread. We need to clean that up a bit. We have our Demi Glace. This is real liquid gold. I don't know if you saw the previous episode where I made the Demi Glace. If you didn't, I'll put a link up here so that you can click on it, and I'll also put the link down in the description. But it's really worth the work. I mean, it's not a lot of active work, it just takes very long, but most of that time you can leave the pot on the stove. So active work, it probably just takes 2 hours. And it is worth it. And we have our potatoes, which we're going to make a Potato Espuma. So we'll first make quite a runny mash, and then we put that in one of those pressurized bottles, and we spray that, but we'll have a look at that. But the first thing we'll do is we put these in hot water, boil them, and then we'll go ahead and clean our sweetbread. As you can see on our sweetbread, there's a lot of sinew and, well, it's not sinew, but it's kind of a skin on top, and you need to remove that. Now, a lot of people blanch the sweetbread before and then kind of press it, and then it's easier to take off, but I prefer it if you don't blanch it. Now we'll just get in here with a knife and cut these things off. It's like cleaning any kind of meat, it's just a bit more fragile probably. You can see it's like a membrane that goes on top, and you don't necessarily need a knife for all of it. You can do it with your hands as well. So we cleaned our sweetbread up a bit. Now we're just gonna cut it into smaller, kind of bite-sized pieces. That's perfect. Now we're gonna bread these and fry these, but I'm gonna clean up a bit first. So we're gonna bread our sweetbread now. Well, not really. We're gonna flour them in the end. I like to make it like almost Japanese style karaage. So I have some rice flour. But first we'll season these a bit with some salt and some white pepper. Now we just turn them in the flour. It's going to be beautiful sweetbread nuggets. And then we do that with everything. And then we're ready to fry them. But before we fry them, just to get the timings right, we'll actually make the potato puree for the espuma ready. So we'll put this to the side. We'll finish these, put this to the side, and then we'll make the potato puree. So we boiled our potatoes, and we just mashed them up quickly. And then we're actually going to, since we're making a espuma, we want them really fine. So we're actually going to pass them through a net as well. And the easiest way is with one of these kind of plastic spatula things. That's a bit of muscle work, but you're not going to regret it in the end because it's going to make the espuma really nice and fine. So, let's see what we have here. Scrape the bits from the inside. Perfect. Now we have some milk, we have butter, we had about 50 grams. Can never have too much butter. Just make it a bit smaller. And potatoes are still warm, so this should melt the butter nicely. We also need a bit of nutmeg. Bit of white pepper. And a bit of salt again. And some milk. And now we just need to mix this. And this is still a bit too solid. Since we're making a espuma, it needs to be quite liquid. I'm not friends with the milk today. And check the seasoning. Needs a little bit more of everything. Bit of salt. Some more nutmeg. And some more white pepper. Make it a little bit looser. Now the taste. Perfect. Now we put this back in a pot and warm it up a bit before we put it in the pressurized bottle. So we warmed our puree or cream up again. Let's see if I can manage to get it in without spilling too much. Get all of it in. I think I managed quite well. So it's nice and clean. Put on the cap. And we won't pressurize it now. I'll put the oven at 60 degrees. So we'll just keep it warm in there until we're ready to serve. So our espuma is in the oven. Now it's time to move over there to fry up the sweetbread. And at the same time, I will warm up the Demi Glace so that we're ready with everything at once. So our oil is hot. Slippery. Just be careful so that you don't burn yourself. And here you can see our Demi Glace is warming up. We have our paper here to put the sweetbread on once they're done. As you saw, they're a bit different in size, so we will take the smaller ones before. Take the small ones out. So the last two are ready as well. We can move over to the plating. Now before we get plating, do me the favor. Hit that thumbs up button below. If you stuck with me this far, that must have been something you like. And it really helps me to get my episodes out there in the kind of YouTube universe. So don't forget, hit that like button. Now, I'm gonna plate this up in a bowl. Some Demi Glace. Kind of covering the espuma. Our 2 nuggets. And some chervil. And there we are, our potato espuma with Demi Glace and sweetbread nuggets. Let's give it a taste. Now this, you can even eat with a spoon. Get some of the espuma. And the Demi Glace first. This is so good. It's comfort on a very high level. Now, if you don't want to make the espuma, don't worry about it. Just make a kick-ass potato puree. It will go just as well. But do me the favor, don't serve this without the Demi Glace, without the liquid gold. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll put the link here again, and the link is also below in the description section to the video where I make Demi Glace. It's really worth the effort. Now, I hope you enjoyed it. Sweetbread, maybe not something everybody thinks they will like, but the people that try it are normally quite convinced. It doesn't have a strong taste as such, but it has a beautiful consistency. So do give sweetbread a try. And this is just one way of cooking them. I'll show you some other ways going forward. I want to grill it as well, and because that's really beautiful. But that's it for this time. Take care. Bye-bye.